Did I do my makeup? How's it look? I forgot to put makeup
A
on.
little shiny, but
I couldn't
maybe
use.
next
I
time.
can't use your makeup.
Maybe next time. Maybe next time it won't be so.
It would look
It'll
like
be a
I
little
had-
brown.
it'd
Little
be
brown.
It'd be a little dark.
A little dark for you, I think.
I told you I'm going to dress up as Halloween next year.
Me.
I'm going to dress up as you.
Can't
So
wait for you
probably
to have some eyelashes on. It's going to be great.
I
Hey,
can. What? But you're
Dr.
going to dress
Ehrlich,
up. what?
Dr. Ehrlich, do you know what today is? What's today?
Stop.
Hey, Dr. Ehrlich, what's today?
I don't care what
Today
day it
is Hump Day.
I'm never going to live this down, but yes, it is Hump Day.
Yes, it is.
I didn't even know where did this come from? What is Hump Day?
Oh, my goodness.
I'm not that
You don't
savvy as you are.
remember the commercial?
No.
Mike. Hey, Mike, what day is it?
Oh, it's with the camel walking through the office. Oh, okay, I got
yes. Love it. Hump Day.
it. All right. I did kind of know that a little bit, but it was, I was trying to be a very clinical named video.
That's
and all
no
this.
fun.
No,
No
so
fun.
you overruled me. Thanks for joining us today. We're honored that you would spend a little bit of time with us during the day, and we're having a great day.
We are.
We are. We've already seen a few patients. We just had Chick-fil-A, which that's never a bad thing for lunch, and then we're going to spend just a few minutes with Hump Day in the middle of the week.
Yeah.
You told me something last week that was really cool. We're in the lab, and you were kind of stressed out, and it was right at about 8:45, and she said, what did
You
tell-
know, having patience for 8 o'clock patients, and it was kind of at that moment, and it was a day that I was kind of stressed out, and I have a long commute, and some days just traffic is horrible, or there's been an accident, or heck, my eyelashes don't go on right, and my hair ain't big enough, and it's just a terrible day when that happens. And, it was just bad. And then we kind of had, sometimes you can have those patients that just, maybe they're complainers or whatever. And I just walked in the lab and I said, I need to have patience for 8 o'clock patients. And at that moment, I was like, yes, sometimes you just kind of have to take a deep breath. And, not only maybe was I having a tough day, but, your patients sometimes are going through things in the mornings, too, that, you kind of have to think about. And some days can just be a struggle.
So it made me think like how stressed everybody is
Right.
at that moment in time, and I know there's offices that are better run than ours. Probably they're probably a little more
Hey, I
I got
thought
to
we
deal
did
with
pretty darn good.
eyelashes and how high is my hair discussion at our huddle meetings, but
Right.
it's tough because we're all stressed to get to the office, not just the team members, the doctors. We have to remember that the patients are having a hard time too.
Yeah.
Number one, they got their own things to deal
Right.
with. Number two, they're coming into your office where they're maybe only been a few times, so they're trying to find a place to park, whereas we already know where to park.
Right.
And at that moment in time, the longer I'm in dentistry, the more I realize that their personalities tend to get accentuated because they're stressed.
Right.
And so if they're complaining, like you said,
Yeah.
they're gonna complain more.
More.
Or if they're a jokester, like the guy we
Yeah.
had this last week, and he had tons of stuff we had to deal with. But what did he do the whole time?
Joke.
When it was a very serious
Laughed. And it was a serious discussion,
Yeah.
but that was his way of handling stress and things like that. And so it's like, at that moment, you kind of feed off of each other. And you do as a team also, because we all work so close together. And maybe you have a big office, our office isn't, it's small. And so we all kind of know when, one person's struggling and having a tough time. And at that moment, maybe that you need to pick that one up, and just go, okay, you should go have some coffee, and I got this one, so.
I'll tell everybody. So Cindy does drive a long way, and sometimes it can be an hour or more. And so when we're starting a little bit late, and I know Cindy's running a few minutes late, I'll just tell the patient, do you want nice Cindy or you want grumpy Cindy? What do you think they're going to say? Well, okay, so
we're going to let her have a few sips of coffee. Just don't say anything about her being late when she walks in, and everything will be good.
And so, every office is different. Again, we have a small office. What do
Yeah.
you guys do? Or is there something that's unique so that you can lowered the stress for that 8 o'clock moment, because everybody's tension is hitting at high peaks then and there. I think one of the things that we do really well in this, and I never realized it until you said it at lunch right here as we were preparing for this, is that when you get the rooms ready, obviously, and I think a lot of people probably do that in their own offices, but tell everybody what you told me about where you put your brain.
Yeah, well, I've been in dentistry a long time, and I am just kind of a natural worrier. I worry about things, and I want things to be perfect all the time, and I have a family also, and so most people do set the rooms up the night before, and I just know that our 8 o'clock patient is going to be one of our larger cases. We're going to be doing crowns, whether it be 1, 2, 3, or whatever. But I try not to necessarily look at the patient or the procedure and what we're doing. And some people may say that's wrong, but early in my career, I found that I would stress and worry about it. I wouldn't sleep well and stuff like that. So I found it easier for me if I just had everything set up. I knew what I was going to do, but I didn't know every detail of what was going to happen. And then when I got here, because I wanted to be rested, and then I would almost create problems for myself as I was worrying about what could happen or whatever. So, I think just knowing the procedure that's going to happen, but just you don't have to know every single detail.
Do you think it's because we have a lot of routines in our office, and we know that 8 o'clock we're pretty much doing almost the exact same thing at 8 o'clock. You have to do that. What do you think an office should do if they're not routine, like they don't have I'm stringent about how our schedule goes and what happens at 8 o'clock and 1:30. What do you think if you didn't know what was going to happen?
I probably, because that's kind of tough. I think we have our routines down, so well that we know. So it probably helps to alleviate some of the stress. But again, if you have multiple team members, then that would make things easier. Where here, we don't. So it's just kind of us. I don't know. I'm not sure.
Well, maybe we should get some comments. If you've got a comment
about how it works in your office, because you got to think there's large practices and then there's small practices, and we can all learn from each other. Who knows? We can learn from what someone else is doing, because if we can all make our lives less stressful, because we have a lot of outside stress going on right now, especially, and so if you can make it better, that it's going to be great for your patients,
One of the things we do in our office, we do a lot of cosmetic makeovers, and in our veneer classes or in advanced classes, we say stress kills creativity. So it's whenever you're trying to be your most creative, you're trying to make the incisal edges, mamelons with your new little ceramic Mio or whatever. You don't want to be stressed at that moment in time. So we do a lot when it comes to that, when it comes to how to reduce stress. And we have our new platform, Digital Enamel TV.
Yes.
We've worked countless hours on this. We've made hundreds of videos, very high level production. And it's the only place where you get a 3-day trial. You can check it out. Or you could do a monthly subscription rather than the full thing. So if we don't make it good for you, then you can go somewhere else.
And I will say, assistants, I thought that was a great idea when Dr. Alex said that, as far as like the monthly subscription goes, because, a lot of those things can be really expensive. And, so if you want to just do it month by month, maybe, around Christmas time you can't do it, but then the first of the year you can, do the month, and you can learn a lot, and there's a lot of some good info that you can get on there. So
let's walk them through just one of our routine cases, and this isn't the most routine case in the world. I mean, it's tough. One thing that bugs me is when I'm doing a CERT class or something, they're thinking, oh, well, in your world, you don't ever have to deal in my world. Look, we deal interproximally all the time of root caries and everything, and it isn't always the icing part that you see online and everything. So we deal with depths of things. So this one gentleman, he older man, he lives in a nursing home, and he has to have a driver, and he needs his tooth fixed. So when he comes in, for me to tell him that, hey, we got to make a temporary and everything like this, and hey, you need to get your hygiene in order
first, and then you're going to have to come back, 2 times or whatever, and
it's not going to happen.
No.
So we just had to get it going. So obviously a huge cavity on the distal of his lower first molar. And we got it prepped out. Again, another thing that is important for somebody in this situation is we got to, prep something fast, something predictable, something easy, and something that's going to be cleansable, because obviously he doesn't clean his teeth very well.
Yeah.
So we got to make it as easy as possible. Not to mention his own dexterity.
Right. His ability, to be able to do it.
And so we did kind of what is popular on Keep Sericking and some other forums is our version of the crown lay.
Crown lay.
We call it a shoulder V-prep for other reasons. But this thing bled, and it bled, and it bled some more.
Yeah.
And we walked away and just let it bleed.
Yeah.
And what's cool about Ceric, and a lot of people don't get this even when they get into the Ceric world, if you can control the hemorrhaging, if you can control the clavicular fluid, if you can control the tissue, which just means pushing it back, we don't pack cord. It's rare that. Where is the cord? Do you even know where the cord is?
I do know where the cord is. And that used to be one of my favorite things to do. Why? I have no idea. Because we think about it when Dr. Ehrlich said, think about taking a string and jabbing it underneath your fingernail. And when I thought of it like that, I was like, oh, let's make it bleed. Let's make it hurt later. Yeah. So we've not done it in a long, long time.
So just with compression and maybe some chemical, maybe a laser.
Yep.
And when you do that and you keep it dry is the important thing, and you're imaging with your OmniCam or your Prime Scan, don't image a lot. You just need to get that one zone imaged and dry so that you can have a good margin. In our classes, the number one mistake that we see all the time is over-imaging.
Over-imaging.
We talk about that a lot in your Ceric Aces videos.
We do, because we stress team imaging, because, if you have two people and you have someone that's, holding the tissue back and, they're keeping things dry, the fewer times you have to keep going back in the mouth, and you're not going to over-image as much, that way if you've got someone in there to help you. So
I got to say one thing. I think everybody saw my after case on there. There was we always take a post-op X-ray, and on the post-op X-ray, I was so worried about the distal and getting it cleaned up. I forgot about the mesial.
Yeah, I kind of left a little.
Yeah. Well, we'll let the hygienists get that cleaned up. They don't do anything in the world. No, I'm just kidding. We always take a post-op X-ray to make sure the cement is cleaned up, so we got that lost out. But if you look at that X-ray. The crowns on the upper, those are all done with Omni and Prime Scan, so it's a very predictable way for a gentleman that just really can't do 2 visits.
Yeah.
So one of the things we promised in our video series is we're going to give something away every single time, and what we'd like for you to do is share this, like it, tag a friend on it, and we'll tabulate all of that, and whenever you do something, we'll put a little card in your hat.
I mean, comment if you've got ideas on things that we discuss and talk about. Comment. That'll give you one extra thing for the drawing. You can talk about Dr. Ehrlich's hair, or that mine was looking good.
I know my hair is a little high today. So we're going to give out my book, Chairside CAD/CAM Dentistry, and it took me years to make this. There's a lot of history of Ceric in it. It's a great book for your waiting room. There's not a lot of text. It's just a lot of before and afters, and it goes into implants and onlays and veneer cases, and
it's a great book.
Thank you. Last thing I want to say about onlays is that my virtual onlays, only onlays course, we just had somebody else sign up for it. It's December 8th on Tuesday. There's only going to be 5 people in it, so we'll have a private discussion, and looking pretty good. We're going to do more of these, so if it sells out, I'll just add another date to it. So get signed up for that.
Also, my Ceric Aces class, it's not all about you.
Violence.
My Ceric Aces class, no, I do have a couple of spots left in mine also, which is December 5th. So any assistants that want to come to that, you do have to email me for that one. You can't sign up online, so just email me at cindy@digitalenamel.com.
All right, so very good. We will see you next week, and after you share and like, we'll announce the winner of our book.
Yeah.
So Wednesday huddle meeting.
Hump Day.